Okay, Nikki, tell me what it looks like, because honestly, I really can't be bothered at this point. I just can't be bothered. God.
This is a hot mess. Is that you? That's me. Oh, there you are.
Is it clear? Is it flowing good?
Is it clear? Yes. Yes. So good. Yes.
I'm about to fight somebody for real. Like,
I hope you're praying 10 times harder because somebody's coming for you.
oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, goodbye, Nikki.
Bye.
Y'all, if you only could see what I am dealing with on my end of things. I know on your end it's like, girl, do this, do that. Like, why? Girl, I'm trying it, and it's not. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine now. Let me tell y'all about my Uber story. I don't even know if I want to talk about my Uber story anymore. Oh, good God. Good God. God. Oh. Wow, okay. There's like absolutely no leg, clearly. Look at my lip gloss. My lips is crusty. Okay. Welcome to this hot ass mess. But we are here regardless, okay? Oh God. Oh God. If y'all are wondering why I'm doing my makeup, my friend and I were supposed to do this makeup challenge yesterday, but I fell asleep. So I'm doing it today, and I'm gonna post it on the Instagram sometime today. Wow, this looks weird. Okay. Just vent, then dive into the Uber story. Honestly, I'm over the Uber story at this point. Nah, I'll tell the Uber story. That's a good question. Scribbler of dreams, let me tell you. So, like a lot of people, I was laid off in March with the rest of them. And personally, I'm not mad at being laid off because I didn't want to be at that job anyways. It's just one of those jobs to carry you just to make ends meet kind of thing. So, a year ago, I started doing this background acting stuff because my friend was like, oh my gosh, like you'd be so good at it. I mean, it takes absolutely no talent, but whatever. So, now with COVID, you have to go get COVID testing every time you're on a new project. So with that, yesterday, I got an Uber because I was like, I'm not gonna take the transit. Like we are on lockdown, not doing it, right? So your girl, being me, gets this Uber driver. He looks Middle Eastern to me. However, the more we were talking, he was saying that he is actually from Sudan. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You know, like we're neighbors, basically being that I'm Zimbabwean. So he's like enjoying the conversation, and so was I. But like at some point, you know, when you're talking to an Uber driver, you're kind of like over it, right? Especially when the trip is like longer than 30 minutes. So I kind of was just like over it, and then we were on the highway at this point. So he's like Speedy Gonzalez, just trying to get me to the location. The part of the story that he doesn't realize is that I'm already late, so like I'm not really pressed for time because I'm like, oh, whatever, I'm late, but I know there's like 100 some people getting their COVID tests at the same time, so it's not like I'm gonna miss the window. But this guy, he missed the turn off the highway to exit to where the studio is. Man, he started like almost like hitting himself. Like, you know, and you're like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, you know, when you do that to yourself, he was doing that to himself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, should I tell him it's not that deep? Like, I don't know what I should do right now. Where's my contour stuff? So I'm just like, you know what, Elaine, leave it, because what if he's like thinking of something else? Like he might not be even thinking about you, you know? Let me not think I'm that special. So then he grabs a tissue, guys. He grabs a tissue and he starts like dabbing his eye. He's wiping his eyes, like he's crying. And I'm like, I really hope this has nothing to do with me, because, sir, like, I was already late when I ordered the Uber. Like, you're not the one making me late. Like, I just felt so bad. And then once I got there, like, I thanked him profusely because I felt like he was under so much stress. But yeah, so my Uber driver cried yesterday. It was kind of weird, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay. How are y'all doing today? Clearly, I'm having a mental breakdown. Can't even find my makeup stuff. But how y'all doing? Let me know. What's up? What's new? What's poppin'? No, but like real talk though, like where is my stuff? Like I don't like I'm just pissed. What part of Canada am I from? I live in Toronto, but if you're talking in terms of like where am I from though, I would say Edmonton, Alberta, because that's where I was raised for majority of my life. I only moved to Toronto. It'll be 2 years coming the end of December. It'll make 2 years. Is Nova Scotia as good a place to live, or is it like a deserted, or is it so deserted from the rest of Canada? I don't actually know anybody who lives in Nova Scotia, if I'm being completely honest with you. So it's like, how do you explain Nova Scotia? Oh my gosh, I've never had to. Yeah, no, ain't nobody live over there. Nobody really lives over there. Nobody really lives in Newfoundland. And if you go over there, they actually have like different accents too. What did I study? I studied psychology. I'm a Bachelor of Science psychology graduate. What am I doing with that degree? Absolutely nothing. I think that's in part the school I went to, but also the fact that like a lot of places don't actually look out for university graduates. They really don't. And it's funny because a lot of places like say, you know, need a minimum undergrad. Some places don't even ask you to have it. Ooh, yikes. Some places don't even ask you to have an undergrad. However, I have one in psych and a Bachelor of Science one on top of that. But for some reason, it doesn't matter. I do. The person said it was a small area and quiet. Yeah. And yeah, no, I don't even, I've never been asked to explain Nova Scotia ever in my life. So I don't even know. I don't even know. I just know they got accents over there on that side of Canada. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to find this thing. Oh my gosh, just absolute chaos today. Someone is conspiring against me and I need to know who it is, because if it's one of y'all, y'all can unsubscribe like now. I can't. Did I go to York U? No. I was raised in Alberta, so everything I did was in Alberta. My high school, all of my education was in Alberta. Okay, so I had topics that I wanted to talk about today, but I don't even know. If y'all would be interested, but I guess I'm gonna do it anyways. All right, yeah, so the first one was financial stability, which is great because somebody asked me what I do for work. Honestly, the way that they have it set up in Canada, I don't know how many people in here are Canadian, but people who got laid off got this thing called CERB. And with CERB, it supplemented the money that like people were losing. So it gave everyone $2,000 a month, right? And I was laid off, so I qualified. But then after that, they expected people to go back to work. Oh gosh. So then after that, they expected people to go back to work. However, I wasn't trying to go back to the job that I had at the time. So I, uh, I don't know if I should say what I did because it might be illegal. So let's just say I'm still not working there. But also I've now gotten back to the background acting stuff, which is not enough to like make a sustainable living, not because the money isn't good, but because the work isn't as often as it used to be because of COVID, you know? So I'm still getting government assistance on stuff. Man, I'm really exposing my life over here. But the crazy thing is, in me being unemployed, this is the most money I've had in like 3 years. So I used to work a job that was like semi-government job. And I was making good money over there. I think I was like, what, 22 an hour over there? But in Toronto, like even minimum wage is lower than in Alberta. So like, it's just crazy. Like I personally feel like I should not be working a minimum wage job, but for some reason, like in Toronto, like my credentials mean jack. So, and as much as people are like, Yelene, you should go back and get a job, whatever, I've never been so financially stable, ever. I've never been in a place where I don't have to check my bank account when I'm making transactions. I don't have to, and I feel like that's not a way to live, like to constantly, like for money to constantly be scarce. That's weird to me. That's a weird life to live. However, that's the life I was living. Sometimes you ask your friends like, yo, fam, can you just spot me like 20 bucks? 20 bucks. Yo, that's wild. All right. People make bank in Alberta. It's crazy. No, they do. They really, they really do. I was making money and I was only like 20. I was only 20 making money that I had never seen before. Like I was, am I gonna say it? Yeah, I would say it. I was paying for people's things. Like people would be like, yo, Elaine, I'm short of cash. And I wouldn't even have to think twice about giving up the money because that's how much money I was making. And even now, like I make transaction after transaction and never check my bank account. And today I had to pay my rent and I was shocked at how much money I still had in my account. So yeah, it's a messed up system that like I went to school, I got my education, which is what y'all told me I needed in order to get a good job. But now all the jobs are talking about, oh, you need a minimum like 5 to 7 years experience. When would I have received that? Please let me know. When was the time? Oh, there's something in my eye. Oh my gosh. Nope, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, so like when was the time for me to gain that experience that you're saying? So you're forced to work a minimum wage job, but cost of living and a minimum wage don't go together. So everybody broke. Everybody's broke. This pandemic is probably one of the greatest things to have happened to me. The positive things of it, of course, we know it's horrible. Like I personally know people who have lost family members from it. So in no way am I glorifying the pandemic at all. However, I would be lying if I didn't say my financial life has not benefited from the pandemic. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know why people are mad they get paid to stay home. And also, you pay into EI. Like, this is the only way I'm ever gonna see this money. Otherwise you die without ever seeing the money that you worked for. But it just was never used because you've always been employed your whole life. People make banking over, oh yeah, I read that one. Minimum wage is $22. No, 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 no. Minimum wage is not $22. Minimum wage in Alberta is 15, Nikki, help me out. 15.20, I think. Is it 15.20, Nikki? No, no answer? Okay. Cool. But in Alberta, I mean, in Toronto, it's 15.50, she said. In Alberta, it's 14 something. I mean, Toronto, good God. In Toronto, it's 14 something. But also cost of living in Toronto is higher than in Alberta. Like, it just, the balance, it just doesn't make sense, y'all. It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm very grateful to what this year has been able to unveil for me, let's say. Even with the background acting stuff, like they pay us for the testing days. They pay us for isolation days. So right now I'm at home, I'm being paid. And then they pay us for the actual work days. The last time I worked on a Netflix series, it was rent, basically. It was my rent in one paycheck. My old job was that, nope, no, that was not a thing. Which I feel like that should be wrong. Like, that should be wrong. But for some reason it's not. And that doesn't sit well with me. What did it say? Is minimum wage $7.50 for real? Hold on, what's the conversion on $7.50 to Canadian dollars though? Because it might be a conversion thing, y'all. Someone hit me with the conversion before I lose my top, because that's crazy. That's crazy. And then they wonder why, like, when the riots were happening and all that stuff, that like why people were looting and all of that. I'm like, people are poor. People are desperate for resources. We don't have enough money to live a sustainable life. Shut up. It is $9.74. That's slavery to me. That's slavery if you ask me. For real. For real. How do you expect me to live a sustainable life, like, with such a low income? And then a lot of people have so many bills. Like, if you have kids, you got to pay for childcare. You got to, you're praying that you live in a two-parent household, because if not, you don't have a partner to help supplement that money that's coming in. I mean, good God, rent or a mortgage if you own, insurance, life insurance, health insurance, because y'all got private healthcare over there. Nah, it's slavery if you ask me. It's slavery if you ask me. But I'm moving on because the financial talk is low-key depressing. Dating in 2020 sucks, guys. Dating in 2020 absolutely sucks. Let me tell you why. Oh, y'all seeing my burn scars. So I was talking to this person, right? And we know what 2020 is. It's a whole pandemic, all right? And I don't know why Ontario is mash up, because not all of Ontario is under lockdown. Not all of the GTA is in lockdown. So some of the areas in the GTA are completely open, while Toronto is actually on lockdown. So this guy was saying, like, oh, where he lives, they're not on lockdown. I'm like, oh, well, good for you. Where I live, it's a lockdown, all right? And he was basically saying, like, I want to go out with you, blah, blah, blah. And I was not opposed to it. I was like, I'm sure, like, we can go out, that's no problem. However, we have to play it COVID safe, which means social distancing, which is fine. Like, if you're going out, like, there's a table in between you, like, that's cool. Or, good for her, Pessy. That's not everybody's story. I should say dating in 2020 sucks for me. That's what I should say, for me. Girl, he was 28. Was he 28? I don't know. I haven't matched with him because, like, he just was doing the most. So he was throwing a fit, basically saying, like, you expect me to not sit beside you? You expect me to have a mask on the entire time? And I'm like, yes. Yes, I do, actually. And he just wasn't having it. Well, okay, so at first he was like, okay, I'll get a COVID test done. I'm like, if you feel like you want to go that extreme, that's fine with me. I'm not requiring you to get a COVID test. But then after he, and this is the kicker, guys. You know what? I'm going to read it for you because I want to make sure I quote this man word for word. Where are my screenshots? All right, so here's what he said. So I was basically saying, like, I'm glad that you understand, because a lot of men feel like I'm just being like avoidant, and that's not the case, right? So he was saying, again, true, but sometimes you cannot blame them. Imagine if roles were reversed. He said revered, but he meant reversed. A guy is dating a girl for 10 years and says he's taking his time. How would most ladies react to that? Plus, life's a race. The swift always almost wins. You know what? The grammar alone. The grammar alone. But we move. The swift always almost wins. First mover's advantage. So, for example, you're talking to a guy, you both like yourself, obviously. You both like each other, he meant to say, obviously. Because of the pandemic, you guys don't get to meet for maybe 2 years, to be fair, because that's how long it's going to take. Mind you, this guy wanted to meet this past weekend. And I said yes. And now he's talking about it's going to take 2 years for us to link up. Like, so melodramatic. I can't. So, would you get mad if he met someone along the way, was willing, and he jumped ship? Me personally, no, I would not get mad. If you find your match, that's great for you. Like, who am I? Plus, low-key, everyone has something to lose. A lot of them have parents, six siblings, younger ones as well. But it's life. Mind you, I'm not done. But he basically just told me everybody dies. It don't gotta be me. And I don't gotta die today. Are you crazy? So, it's like hepatitis B, for example. There's a lot of examples here, guys. You can legit get it from someone slightly brushing against you in a bus or walkway. And that's instant death sentence with no cure. Again, why would you make yourself susceptible to that then? Whatever, we move on. You know, yes, we know it's out there, but does it stop us from moving on with our lives? Example, y'all, and this is the example that really sent me over the edge. My brother got COVID. Huh? My brother got COVID, and he's the most self-conscious person I know. Works from home, always home. He most likely got it from groceries. But hey, like they always say, what will be will be. That's just life. So yeah, safe to say that connection has been squashed. Here's what I said to him in response, because I was like, one thing I'm not going to do is ghost people. Like, I'm trying to make it deliberate not to do that. Plus, like, I'm a whole 24. Like, I can use my words. I'm not a child. So I said, so I've told you the parameters that I'm comfortable with, yet somehow you've diminished my feelings to a series of scenarios that are actually irrelevant in regards to my feelings. It's unfortunate that I have to justify the reasons why I'm uncomfortable to someone who I believed I was vibing with. I didn't want to just disappear and figured you deserved an explanation. However, I'm gonna call it quits here. All right? That's what I had to tell him, because I was like, how am I gonna tell you that something makes me feel uncomfortable? And you're gonna tell me the reasons why I shouldn't be uncomfortable. If anything, this is a foreshadowing of what dating you is gonna look like. A constant battle of me having to compromise my values and my beliefs to make you comfortable and to satisfy you. Absolutely not. Yo, if I was a different woman, oh, if I was a different woman, good God. Exactly. Like, he literally told me his brother got COVID, and his brother was trying to be very safe and very precautious and still got it. So, all right. So that means throw caution to the wind? Is that what that means? Because no, that's not what I'm going to do. Pessy says a lot of people turned out to be medical, biological, infectious diseases, etc. Etc. Oh. A lot of people turned out to be medical, biological, infectious disease experts during this pandemic. They really did, girl. They really did. And I'm not even going to lie to you guys and make it seem like I was very cautious in the beginning. I was one of those people who was a little flippant about the virus. Gonna be honest about it, I was. However, the more serious it's getting and the way these numbers are climbing, especially in Ontario and Alberta, both of which are places that I've been this whole year, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill. And I was making myself available to this person, but saying like within the parameters of what we've been asked to do as Canadian citizens. And it's funny too because he's African. And it's like Africans take community and family very seriously. So I was thinking like he understands what it means to sacrifice something for the greater good. However, that was not the case. So, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let me go back to Pessy's old comments. Dating doesn't suck for everybody. I know a lady who met someone in August and got engaged in a few weeks. First of all, that's great for her. Definitely not the case for me. Not even in the slightest. So, yeah. Can't share her sentiment if I'm being completely honest. What part of Africa was he from? He was from Nigeria. He was from Nigeria. And I love Nigerians, so I was really upset. It's Nigerians and Ghanaians for me, but yep, he was quite the disappointment, I promise you. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, y'all. Let me try to do these eyebrows. Are any of you guys on Clubhouse? You have to have an iPhone, unfortunately, to be on Clubhouse, but I've been really enjoying my time on Clubhouse. It was so great. It's midnight here. Good night, Passy. Have a good night. See you when we see you. Yeah, see, I tried to do it earlier because I know a lot of you guys are overseas, but, you know, it's still going to be late for somebody. So yeah, I've been on Clubhouse, and there was this one chat that basically was talking about how women should shoot your shot more. So, y'all think about that. Should women shoot their shot more while I do my eyebrows? Matilda, Clubhouse is like, how do I explain Clubhouse? It's basically like a chat room, but there's no DMs. Like, you can't actually like DM anybody. It's just different rooms that you can join in, and it's purely audio. Like, you can tie in your social media and like your profile picture. However, you just communicate with audio. But yeah, so the room talked about women should shoot their shot more. It wasn't even a question, it was a statement. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Oh God, it's so hot. No one has thoughts. Wow. Okay, I guess you agree. Scribble of Dreams, I feel as women do not shoot your shot. You feel as if women don't shoot their shot, or like that they shouldn't? Whoa, oh, okay. You guys are all saying no. All right, Matilda says, I say no. Men are really just becoming super lazy at this point. I hope you guys can still hear me. On a piece 100%. Disagree 100%. Mind your business because these men are not worth it. Women are the prize. Y'all are killing me. That's actually hilarious. I'm actually not against women shooting their shot. I'm really not, if I'm being honest. Anything else? Y'all ain't got no other... Or have you ever shoot your shot? If you're a woman who has shot it, tell us your story. Tell us your experience. Gosh, I just hate doing my makeup lately. Like, I feel like I'm so out of practice. Matilda, I'm not against... Nikki, get out of here. Matilda, I'm not against it, but I don't think it should be a common thing. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I used to believe the same thing. I really did. But then I was like, if you don't shoot your shot, you're first of all going off the assumption that like everyone you come in contact with is aware of your presence, right? So like if I'm at a bar, if I'm at a restaurant, if I'm at a function, a games night or whatever, everybody is aware of me, and therefore the ones who are interested should make their move. However, you don't know what kind of day that person is having. You don't know if they honestly just didn't notice you because they're distracted, or maybe they're involved with their friends and they're involved in what's going on in the environment. So I feel like for me, I'm more open to shooting my shot now because it's like men build an archetype in their head that they want, and they go and they pursue that. And women, we just kind of wait. And my thing is like, why do I gotta accept what's just coming to me? Why can't I just go and get the man that I desire? Which leads me to Nikki's question, or Nikki's read saying, then shoot your shot, sis. So yes, there is a guy that I'm kind of feeling. Oh gosh, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Ugh. There is a guy that I'm kind of feeling. However, he has a history with one of my friends. Okay? He has a history with one of my friends. And I feel, oh, that looks so weird on camera. Oh, let me not get that close to y'all. I'm sorry. He has a history with one of my friends. And I just don't want to make that messy. I don't want to make it seem like back when she was trying to pursue him, like that I was eyeing him the whole time, you know? She is aware that I do find him attractive, but that's because I'm vocal about that part, you know? But I'm not vocal about the part where it's like, I would like to pursue him though. And also on top of that, I don't even know if he would be interested in me like that. So I don't want to embarrass myself, you know? That's really what it is. Has he shown interest in me? No. See, that's exactly what it is. He has not. Well, not in the way that I would describe interest. Like, I'm able to talk to him, no problem. Like, that's fine. However, you know, I really hope she doesn't watch this video because I guess then she's gonna know. No, but they don't know which friend I'm talking about. So yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm trying to make my eyebrows like Ariana Grande's because that's the look that we're doing. And like her eyebrows are super short and I'm really stressed. I don't like my eyebrows this short. So yeah. Have you guys talked or are in contact? Yes. Yes, madame. Yes. The answer is yes. But anyways, it's not that deep for me to like, if I don't pursue it, I feel like I've missed an opportunity. No, definitely not. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. And also, I feel like if the desire for me was that strong, then I would make more of an effort. I would make more of a point to be like, okay, let me really, put myself out there for him. But nah, I don't think he's any kind of unicorn, any kind of, revolutionary man for me to like embarrass myself like that, That's just me. Y'all really don't think women should shoot their shot at you for real? I used to be like that, but like I've changed. Should I change back? God, I hate this so much. I hate these eyebrows. These look hideous. Why does girl got such short eyebrows? Like, goodness sakes. If you've had luck, I would continue shooting my shot. That's the thing. I don't know if necessarily I've had luck because the one time I did kind of ish shoot my shot, it seemed promising and then a pandemic hit. So I feel like that was the universe saying, irks, nope. So I don't know if I should listen to the universe or try again. I've done it twice to strangers, but they're strangers, you know? Boo COVID for real. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. All right. These feel very Ariana Grande to me. Ariana, your makeup artist has to extend your eyebrows because, girl, these is too short for me. These is too short. All right. Moving on. I feel like this was turned into like a podcast, but like, sure. Y'all. So there's this person in my life who likes to say, you've lost weight. And I think they think it's a... Oh yeah, I've been dropping hints. Don't worry about that. On the beats, I've been dropping hints. Yeah, so I think they think like coming to me and saying you've lost weight is a compliment. And it's not. It's not. I can't even get into why I feel like it's not. But I don't go up to you and be like, wow, your skin is clear for once. You know what I mean? Like, there's just things that you just don't say, especially if I'm not asking for it. I'm not asking you like, hey, have I lost weight? And you're like, yes, baby girl, you have. And I'm like, oh, thank you, you know? People really equate being big with being ugly. And you know who ain't ugly? On like Tuesdays though, because like some days it really be like, ugh. But yeah, I've really realized that like a lot of people have equated thinness with beauty and like being a bigger girl with being less attractive. And my thing is, yes, the aunties are champions of saying that, but it isn't even an auntie. It's an age mate. It's my peer. It is my peer. And they say it to me like so often to the point where I almost want to check them. Like, all right, what you're not gonna do is keep saying that. And the thing is, I think people assume When I say I'm going on a weight loss journey, it's because I'm displeased with how I am. And it's like, to a certain degree, yes, I am, but not to the point where I feel like I need to be congratulated for losing 5 pounds. Like, it's not that deep, you know? Like, me wanting to lose weight is purely for vanity reasons. Purely for vanity reasons. I wear a US size 8 and sometimes I feel like I'm not even too big. It really sucks, but I'm gonna keep eating though. I mean, enjoy your size 8 cuz I'm definitely not that. Definitely not that, okay? But no, I just find it so funny how like how people make statements like, "Wow, you're pretty for a big girl." I'm like, "Hmm?" Or or I talk about my weight and they're like, "Oh no, but you're beautiful." And I said, where in that statement did I say that I'm not though? Because I didn't. Like, I still believe that I'm beautiful. And it's crazy that these are the conversations we're having in 2020. Like, you see the shows resurfacing like Moesha and all that and the fat shaming that was going on, and you think that's a thing of the past, and it's like, no, it's just manifested in a different way. But it's really the same, it's really the same thing. It is really the same thing. Yeah, y'all, I've had the worst comments. I've had "you're pretty for a dark skin" when I lived in Alberta. I've had it all. I've had men who like feel like them approaching me should be something to make me happy because at least I'm getting attention. Yeah. Like, as a big girl, like I should be grateful that he is giving me the time of day. That's real. That's really real. Are the men the ones saying this, or is it a woman? It was a woman. The one who congratulates me on losing weight all the time when I know for a fact I'm not losing weight because like I wear all the same clothes all the time. It's a woman. It's a woman. And I'm like, all right. Okay. All right. I lose weight and gain it back like every 3 weeks. Like, it's just how my body works. What y'all want to talk about? I have one last topic, but like that's gonna end the live like super quick. So I don't know if y'all want me to do that. So what y'all want to talk about? Oh my gosh, I didn't get to use my primer. Maybe that's why my face is looking weird. Whatever. Y'all don't know. Come on, y'all. Y'all got topics. Please, don't do that to me. Don't do that. This is not as chocolatey as I want it to be. Okay, fine. I'll get to my last topic then, since ain't nobody saying nothing. My last topic was imposter syndrome. Do you guys know what that is? Oh my gosh, that perfectly works, Demi. That perfectly works. Demi's asking about self-growth. So, imposter syndrome for me ties in with my personal growth story because, listen, all of y'all are in one accord. This all aligns. All right. I always felt like I was the person who didn't belong in the rooms that I was in. So I sing, for those of you who know that I sing, but it's something that I'm very insecure about. That's why some of y'all who've been here for a minute haven't seen, I don't know what you mean with the Instagram comment. I don't know what that means. You feel like Instagram is the cause of imposter syndrome? No, I've had imposter syndrome even before all of that stuff. The imposter syndrome for me, it started from like, I liked singing a lot, right? But one of these teachers who I grew up with basically just told me to shut up. And as a young girl, like I was just like, dang, like maybe I should just stop singing or whatever. So for the longest time, I started thinking I'm not a good singer because he just had a personal vendetta with me. We later found out that he actually really had a problem with me and he admitted to that. And I'm like, wow, a grown man with a vendetta with a kid? Like that's it's kind of weird. Um, so singing became a huge insecurity for me. And when I got the opportunity to sing for the Edmonton Eskimos, which is a CFL team. CFL is Canadian Football League, the equivalent of the NFL in the States. So when I got the opportunity to do that, every time I would sing, I felt like, why am I here? You know, I felt like this opportunity is for someone else. Like someone else who's better deserves to sing on this in front of like 40,000 people. Like me, the girl who popped a blood vessel the very first time she sang at the stadium. I had a physical reaction to singing at this stadium. Like my body could not handle it. So I was thinking like, I'm gonna crash under pressure. Like this job is not for me. Like why did they pick me? You know. And then in university, when I started the Burman Black Student Alliance, like our school was missing a conglomerate for Black students that like looks out for them on a administerial level, almost. You know how clubs work in university. And even then, I experienced imposter syndrome again. Like I'm not the most knowledgeable on Black culture. I don't know all the Black kids on campus. I've never run, you know, anything. So who am I to be the president of such a group like this, you know? Constantly experiencing imposter syndrome. And then moving to Toronto, which one of the questions was, why did I decide to move to Toronto? I'm a do things on a whim kind of person. So I was never gonna stay in Alberta my whole life. Like I'm not that kind of person. I'm always trying to do something new. I'm always trying to experience something different, experience things that are gonna expand my horizons, expand my knowledge of things, expand my circle of people. And so moving to Toronto was one of those. But when I came here and I saw like the people who were getting gigs and the people who were performing these big events and stuff like that, I was like, yet again, I feel like I don't belong here. And so part of my self-growth story has been accepting the fact that like these gifts are not things that my peers have given me, are not things that my parents gave me. These are all God-given traits, you know? And who am I to, sorry if you're not Christian, but I'm Christian, so everything goes back to God for me. Who am I to go back to my creator and talk about, nah, you did that wrong. You did that wrong. You didn't know what you were doing when you gave me this talent. You didn't know what you were doing when you gave me this gift. You know? Like, who am I to tell God he messed up? You know? And when I started looking at it that way, I was like, all right, he wouldn't put a voice in me for me to shut up. He wouldn't put personability in me for me to not be social. He wouldn't put leadership qualities in me for me to be a follower, you know? And when I started looking at things like that, the imposter syndrome like started to fade away, and it became easier to accept the fact that like I'm deserving to be in this space. I'm deserving to go and get the things that I want to get, to accomplish the goals that I have, to dream the dreams that I want to dream, you know? For the longest time, I was living other people's dreams. People from church telling me, you should do this, you should do that, you should go in engineering, you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should be a business major, you should be in accounting, all this stuff. And it's like, I did psychology because I love it. However, I wanted to be a singer forever. And I wanted to be an entertainer for a long time. And now I'm finally getting the opportunity to do that. And that's why like I've been releasing music on Spotify and like it is not to the best quality. However, it's me embracing that. It's me embracing that I'm talented and I'm gonna put it out there somehow, you know? Like I'm talented and I moved to Toronto and I haven't come back despite so many people telling me, you'll be back in 8 months, you'll be back in a year, you'll be back in 2 years. Okay, we haven't hit the 2 year mark yet, so it's possible. But, you know, where at every corner people were so ready to tell me what I wouldn't be able to accomplish, I've accomplished it. And not even just accomplished, I've surpassed. So let me read these comments. I saw them going. Giving you, regardless of what another person's circumstance is, regardless of what your circumstances are, if you are capable and you are willing, he expects you to do. So do, you know? On them beats, I don't blame you. Alberta is okay. Demi says, did you ever relapse while on your journey to overcome imposter syndrome? Hello? Every day. Literally every day, because like it's a reaffirming that you have to do. It's not once that you've established the fact that like I'm deserving, you're always gonna think you're deserving. Somebody's gonna come, get into your head, plant a seed, and that seed starts to grow, and you have to like, nope, it's a weed. It's not a plant, it's a weed. Cut it down. You know? Like reset the atmosphere. Reset yourself every day. So I was talking earlier about Clubhouse. And Clubhouse, though there's a lot of like messy rooms in there, one of the rooms is an affirmations room. And every morning they give each other like daily affirmations. And the one today was giving yourself grace. What are things that you should give yourself grace for today, right? And I'm listening to this thing and I'm like, the things that I feel like I should give myself grace for are things that like I constantly say all the time. Like, shouldn't I now have a hang of it? And sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes you're just gonna have to keep telling yourself, Elaine, you're worthy. Elaine, you deserve to be here. Elaine, you are talented. Elaine, you are gifted. You're deserving. God placed you here. Like, I constantly have to tell myself. So do I relapse? All the time. Okay? All the time. But yeah, no, I feel like being Christian on top of everything that I've experienced allows me to have something to stand firm on and be like, okay, there's something greater than me. Therefore, I have a purpose here. That greater being has kept me here for a reason. So obviously, my work here is not done. So let me finish the work. Then I could talk about, all right, I'm no longer worthy because I'm finished. You know? That was my last topic. So y'all exhausted the topics because I asked y'all for a topic and y'all didn't say nothing. So that's your fault. It's so crazy how different the makeup looks on the phone compared to in real life. I'm looking at this thing like, ah! Yikes. Y'all, what else y'all want to talk about? If y'all have any topics. You again with the I don't know. Come up with something. Or else this gonna be one of the shorter ones. Oh, why did my friend pick such a hard look? I'm very much so regretting this. Very much so regretting this. Talk about the standards society has for men. None. Okay, that's a lie. I think it's different from I think it's different from whatever demographic you're in. So, like, if you're a black male, actually no, if you're a white male, the standard is lower than low. Okay, it is in the depths of the atmosphere. It is in the not the atmosphere of the earth. That like you can be the most mediocre white man and still be way more successful than a very intellectual, educated minority woman, you know? So yeah, that's one thing. White males, there's like literally no standard whatsoever. A black man, I feel like society's standards, they vary. So if you're like talking from a romantic standpoint, like as a woman, the standard is to be that rock all the time, to be supportive, to be all these things that one, a lot of them weren't taught at a young age. So a lot of men don't know how to be vulnerable. A lot of men don't know how to take criticism, take correction. A lot of men don't know how to fall back sometimes and let a woman lead. A lot of men, some men have been coddled and don't even know how to lead. You know what I'm saying? So do you want me to switch? Okay, let me finish this one. So yeah, I would say we put a lot of pressure on black men specifically, but don't allow them the space to grow in the expectations that we have. So when a black man cries, how often is he consoled? You know, when a black man asks for knowledge in something, how often are we quick to be like, oh, but it's 2020, you should know this, or you know, it's not my responsibility to teach you, stuff like that. Like we say stuff like that, and it's like, here's a moment that you've missed where someone was asking from a place of vulnerability and we've shut them down, and this is what makes them not want to talk no more, you know? Scribbler of Dreams says, talk about your experience in the dating field as someone who is darker skinned as well. Y'all know I don't have experience, right? For someone who has never dated, I talk about dating a lot. I don't know if you count online dating as dating, because I don't. That's not dating to me. That's like gearing up to date somebody. But I would say it's tough. Like growing up in Alberta, again, for people who don't know what Alberta is set up like, it's basically the Texas of Canada. No exaggeration, it is the Texas of Canada. So the racism that goes on over there, the discrimination, it is insane. However, for me, growing up, a lot of the attention that I got romantically was actually from white men. Actually from white men. The black men were trying to pursue snow bunnies, which, I mean, if that works for you, then cool, that works for you. I'm not here to judge whatever your preference is. However, they almost like demonize us for being dark-skinned black women. And it's like, oh yeah, because I chose my complexion, because I chose my ethnicity, you know what I'm saying? So, what is there? Aren't there a lot of Indians where in Alberta? I heard they're anti-black in Canada, and they I can't say a lot of the things you're saying, Scribbler of Dreams. I really can't. Demi says, it is interesting that you bring up that whole it's not my responsibility to teach you, because it is true that we don't take an opportunity to teach in someone's vulnerability and take someone's vulnerability for granted. For sure. I'm like, all right, and as much as I personally agree with that statement, like as a black woman, we are always asked, okay, teach me. All right, but there are resources to where you can teach yourself. It is not always my responsibility to come at your beck and call and to be your educator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already going through so much. However, in those moments of vulnerability, especially with a significant other, those are the moments that you should pause and be like, okay, someone here is asking me for education. I should give it, especially if it's something that I'm knowledgeable in. And it's not gonna hurt me to pause and teach. If anything, it'll hurt if I don't, because this person is now moving away from their interaction with you either jaded or still leaving ignorant. So really, what was the point of even coming in contact with you when you couldn't have availed the knowledge that you've acquired, you know? So yeah, it's crazy. It'd be like that. Western Canada basically goes like that. Literally, basically does. Okay, some of y'all's comments are being hidden. I'm just gonna show them. However, YouTube thinks y'all are problematic. The Horn of African Women. Explain that, Scribbler of Dreams. Demi says, I also feel like we, black women, but maybe I should speak for myself, got the whole rhetoric from white women and their fight against the patriarchy. Sorry, the next comment is messing me up. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm sure I probably know what you mean by that, but I need an explanation of what you mean by that. But yeah, like, the plight of the black women is diminished so much, and like, we go through too much to have to go through what we're going through and then pause and look back and reach back and teach people so that they get on our level, so that they know that what we're going through is valid. But then also, like, I don't feel like it is my responsibility to teach you. I don't feel like that, because who taught me? I had to go and seek that information out for myself. And it was more so for self-preservation. And you're lucky that you don't have that, that you have the luxury to not have to find ways to protect yourself. Like me and my brother, for example, there are certain things that happen in mainstream media that affect me so hard to the core, because I know I could easily be susceptible to that kind of mistreatment, to that kind of misjudgment. But to him, he almost doesn't even think twice sometimes, because although he's black, he's a man. And as much as a lot of black men don't want to admit it, that is a luxury. Let me rephrase. That can be a luxury. I'm not going to make it seem like black women have the worst of it all. Like, no. But it can be a luxury that a lot of black men don't take the time to really, like, understand. You know, like, the mortality rate for women during pregnancy, the workplace discrimination, the pay disparity, the, you know, gender-based violence. Good God, the gender-based violence, let alone be a transgendered woman. Not even gonna touch that. Scribbler of Dreams, for example, like, I know a lot of Eastern African women live in Canada and they're placed on a higher pedestal because they don't look like us West, South, and Central Africans. Personally, I've never heard that, but that's an interesting take. Yeah, but I've never heard that before. That's interesting that that's been your experience. Oh, right. Anand Beats is responding saying, I agree, black dudes in high school basically would call all the other black girls ugly and would put Ethiopian girls on a pedestal. Dang, so this is common. That is so interesting. For me personally, it's just been the colored girls against the white ones, you know, and I don't fault. Do I not fault white women? I don't know if I want to say what I was gonna say, but yeah, in a lot of cases, white women don't realize the privilege that they have. Even light-skinned women don't realize the privilege that they have. Like, rarely does their beauty come into question. Rarely does their intelligence come into question. But as a black woman or someone who's like of a darker complexion, even if you're like Indian or Filipino, like just being deeper, complexed every time. Your intelligence is questioned, your beauty is questioned, your social ability, your capabilities as a mother, your arguments are questioned, your like everything. All right, Demi says, "Okay, I'll speak for myself. I definitely was one to take on the world. I definitely was one to take on the world. I don't need to teach you, but I feel like I learned that from white women in academia and not black women." Okay. Scribble of Dreams responding to someone else. I've seen that so much, referring to the Ethiopian women. We're ugly, but they're lighter skinned with silkier hair, so they're cute. Now that I agree with. It's just the pedestal stuff that you guys were talking about. That is not something that I personally resonate with. I don't think that's been my experience. But definitely, as a darker skinned woman, like you're automatically seen as less attractive just because your skin is deeper. And I'm not even gonna make it seem like I did not have colorist ideologies in the past. Like even me myself, I would tell myself like I'm never gonna marry a dark skinned black man because God forbid I have, you know, a really dark baby. These are thoughts I had being younger, living in Alberta in a predominantly white province. Like it really was ingrained in me that like lighter is better. Oh, so problematic. I truly believed that. Like, it blows my mind. But now I'm in this space where it's like, if people can't see that my value cannot be reduced to my complexion, then they're not people that I need in my vicinity. They're not people that I need in my space, you know? Like, I still hear the conversation of like, I want a black girl, but she's gonna be light skinned. She's gotta have like coily hair and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's great for you, but the coily hair is not gonna raise your kids. The light skin is not gonna, feed the household. Like you gotta look for more in that specific woman. If that's who you end up being with, I hope you're looking for more than the coils and the light skin. You know what I'm saying? Scribble over James. Yeah, there's something in my throat, y'all. Exactly. No one ever calls white women ugly just because she's white. Whew, that one triggered me. But you will get called ugly just because you're black. Demi says, initially black women have been doing the work of teaching black men, yes. But now we have become more intolerant, which is fair because at the end of the day, the information is out there for them to learn. Yes. But also I agree that if we took the time at the moment to teach, they could possibly get a better first-hand understanding. Also, yes, I agree. On them beats, it's messed up. As a kid, I didn't want to be with a black man because my kids would be too dark. Child, I'm telling you, there were a lot of us who felt that way. A lot of us. A lot of us. It's crazy how kids pick up subconsciously the colorism in our community and society. Y'all. And the thing is too, if you were to ask me if I was colorist, I would have told you no. Because I didn't even deep it as colorism. I didn't even understand it as colorism at all. And it's funny too because it's like, it's self-hate. Because if I have a kid, even with the pastiest white man on this planet Earth, that baby is still gonna come out brown, you know? Like, the baby's still gonna be brown. And, yo, crazy. What do you mean by let's talk about featureism? Oh, I know what you mean. Like, you want a black woman, but like she's gotta have like a big bum or like a thin nose or like a small waist. Like, is that what you mean? I feel like that's what you mean, but let me know. Antonia 16, I used to think that too, that I wanted a lighter skinned guy so my kids would be lighter, but I married my chocolate man. I married my chocolate man and looking forward to my chocolate babies. They will be very beautiful. Yes, they will. They will be gorgeous and they will be smart and they will have goals and ambitions and they are gonna be trailblazers. Listen, I speak that into existence for all the chocolate babies of the world. You hear me? All the chocolate babies of the world. So futurism, y'all, what is in my throat? It's real. It's definitely real. Especially too when it's like, when it's, I hate to make it seem like I'm bashing black men because that is not at all my intention. However, I know personally black men who don't want a black woman, but want a white woman with all the black woman characteristics, the stereotypical ones. So they want her to have fuller lips. They want her to have higher cheekbones. They want her to have a small waist and a big bum and wider hips and, you know, have a black girl swag, but not the black girl tint. You know? Oh, y'all. Oh, that pisses me off so much. That pisses me off so much. Demi says the whole hierarchy of, okay, now she can be dark skinned, but she has to have loose curls and a big butt in order for her to have some appeal. Now dark skinned women have to be highly sexualized and in order to be desired. Yes. Scribble of Dream says, don't y'all feel like black women have more loyalty to black men? I feel like so many black men don't speak this highly of black women like we do of them. I agree. For the most part. I know some black men who are like, I love black women and there's nothing you can say to deter me from that. I ride for them. I support anything that they do, all their endeavors. I'm investing in black women. I intend on producing black women. All like, I know men like that. However, the simps of the world out there, they like to reduce black women to a body, to a series of orifices that they can insert their member into. And quite frankly, that's repulsive. It's disgusting. So yeah, I do agree with you, Scribbler of Dreams. In a lot of cases, black women do vouch and defend and support and invest in black men more than they do for us. It's just how it is. Demi says, but do you think this is real or is it just part of the new trend? The love for black women. Let me do my eye before I, oh God. I feel like for the most part, it's become cool to support black women. It's become cool to say Black Lives Matter. It's become cool to buy black. But at the core, is that something that you would have done unprovoked? I don't know. And I can't even say whether or not they would or they wouldn't, so I'm not gonna say that's their intention just to follow the trend. It could be genuine. And maybe the trend is needed. Maybe the trend is needed in order to build that habit in them to be like, no, I should speak more positively about black women. Like, I've been doing it as a trend, but like now I actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, the natural hair movement, it was definitely a trend, like at some point, but the turn for me happened at some point where I'm like, okay, I understand that it's a trend, it's a movement and all this stuff, but like I'm genuinely believing it. I'm genuinely believing that my natural hair is beautiful, that it should be celebrated, that my skin is beautiful and it should be celebrated. So yeah, I do believe that it is a trend. However, in a lot of cases, the trend allows people to internalize those actions and make it a part of their, behavior. Yeah, it's become cool to be black. It's always been cool to be black. That's number one. That is number one. It has always been cool to be black. Scribble of Dreams. I see. Oh God. I see. I see. Like people whose personalities are based on nothing but taking from black people and black culture. Yes. I mean, gosh, Bad Baby, Kylie Jenner, friggin' Who else is out there? Iggy Azalea. Um, who else is out there? Mariah Lynn. Like, so many white women like are privileged in the fairness of their skin, but want to exhibit the traits of black women because they know at the end of the day they're still white. And even on the best black person's day, they would still choose to be white over being black. And that's just a fact. On and beats. But I feel like the trend occurred in the 70s, yet literally the next decade, the energy was not kept. Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I mean, too, that had to do with the times. Like, it was also cool to oppress black people. Okay, and as much as it was cool to steal black culture, it was also cool to oppress the blacks. So that just came with the times. Now you can't do that because I mean your ass gonna be on social media and you might lose your job. So people are a little more cautious with their oppression. This has been an interesting topic, y'all. I love this. This is great. Scribble of Dreams. But do y'all see that despite the fact that there is more call out of colorism, Generation Z on TikTok is just as colorist as ever? Honestly, I'm not even gonna put that on Gen Z. It's everybody. It's everybody. Like, I don't think people really understand what colorism is, and they think it's the blatant, like, I don't like black women, I only like fairer skinned or white women. And no, that's not the case. It can also be manifested in assuming that a black girl is going to be aggressive on sight just because she's black. Or, oh, is my phone dying? Yikes. Yikes, y'all, my phone is dying. So yeah, colorism can be manifested in a few ways, like just assuming that a black girl is going to be aggressive because she's black, or assuming that she's not intelligent, or like already calling out that she's ugly when you haven't even really looked at her features and seen like, no, matter of fact, she's beautiful. I feel like that's all colorism, you know? But if the person feels like they're not blatantly saying black women are ugly or I prefer white women over black women because of ABC, then they don't think it's colorism. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get my charger. Mm. I feel like despite so much progress we've made, we've got such a long way to go because the babies of today are still growing up with the ideals we have been trying to get rid of. Yeah, it's true. And I mean, change is not going to happen overnight. Change is not going to happen in one generation. Like, it's an ongoing battle. It's an ongoing journey. Definitely. Oh, my phone is hot, bruh. Okay. Shut up. Antonia 16. For me, even if I got a chance from the man up high to choose my skin color, it would always be black, regardless of the struggles that comes with the color. 100% agreed. Even if I knew the outcome of what it is to be black, I would still choose to be black any day. And I think too, like, it's almost because of the oppression that Black people have experienced. Like, we've been forced to make the best out of different situations that we're put in. We've been forced to try harder, dream bigger, experience more. Like, because we've just been given such a short stick, we've had to make the Black experience worthwhile while we have it. So, yeah, I agree. I would still be Black any day. Any day. What else y'all got? Y'all still want to talk about colorism? The reason why I couldn't get too much into the dating as a dark-skinned woman is, like I said, like, I don't really date like that. And then also, I have the duality of being a plus-size Black woman. So honestly, it's a whole different experience for your girl over here. Like, it's just shitty all around. Sorry for cussing, but that's just how I feel. Oh my gosh. That's not the one I used. What else y'all got for me before I go? Oh, there are definitely two different heights. You know what? I can't even care. I can't even be bothered. Y'all ain't got nothing? Y'all quiet. What's going on? I know y'all got topics for days. Okay, by a show of hands, how many of you guys know who Daryl Walls is? Because if you know about him, I'll talk about him. But if you don't, then I'll move on. What? Is this not charging? It is charging. Are we good? Are we back? Y'all don't know him? Okay, then I won't talk about him. Then I won't talk about him. That's all I got, guys. That's all I got. So if y'all ain't got nothing for me, I might have to call this the end of the live. Our shortest one yet. Speaking on color, Antonia said, okay. Like, are you charging or no? Because I'm confused. Like, you supposed to be charging. So, like, are you charging or are you not charging? I'm so over this makeup. Like, it has given up on me as well. Antonia says, speaking on color is worse than speaking on sexuality. So I guess it's like pulling blood from a stone. Interesting. Interesting. Ooh, there's something about Africa. Okay. Scribbler of Dreams. Let's talk on experiences of discomfort men have made y'all feel. or have. Yeah, y'all can sound off in the comments if men have made you feel uncomfortable, which I'm sure they have. Multiple occasions, I'm sure they have. Me personally, I mean, the biggest one is my molestation. And I don't know how many of y'all caught that in the last line because we were experiencing technical difficulties. But if y'all want me to get into it, I can. Just let me know. I don't mind talking about it, so don't feel like you're opening a wound. I've processed it. I've come to terms with it. So yeah. You didn't hear it? Okay. Let me tell you about it. So, when I was the age of like 13 or 14, something like that, I had a, should I say that part? Maybe not. There was somebody at my church who was really close to my parents. And mommy, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. I know this is the first time you're hearing this story. Yikes. So he was close to my parents and he would come over a lot. So it wasn't uncommon for him to be at the house. However, my dad wasn't around this one time, and it was known that my dad wasn't around, right? So then he came over to the house, and mind you, like, I'm at the house. It's my house. So I'm dressed in like a shirt maybe like this, and then really tight skinny jeans, just because I loved skinny jeans, y'all. Skinny jeans were my thing. Like, tights and skinny jeans were your girl's thing as like a teenager. So I'm wearing my skinny jeans. I have to emphasize tight because they were tight and your girl's a little thicker, you know? So like, I ain't got like a big booty or nothing, but like, you know, it give the illusion. So he came over to the house, and then he was like, hey, is your dad here? I'm like, no, my dad's not here. And then he was like, oh, that's okay or whatever. I don't remember the full conversation, but when he was leaving, he hugged me and like was like rubbing my back and like touching on me, and the hug was way longer than it needed to be, especially as a 13-year-old, and this is a grown man who had a kid my age, mind you. So at first I was like, is this actually uncomfortable, or am I just reading into it? Like, maybe I'm just doing the most. So I let it go. Then this was maybe like a few weeks after, and my grandfather, I think it was my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, had passed away. And we were having a bereavement at my house. And there was this shirt that I loved, and it was like tight on the top, it was long sleeved, and it like a scoop neck just like this. And then on the bottom it was kind of peplum like, so it's more open on the bottom. So we're sitting on a couch, and guys, it's a bereavement. Someone has died. We're remembering the memory of someone who has passed away. You know what I mean? And the devil don't want me to tell this story, y'all. The devil don't want me to tell this story. So yeah, he was feeling around like in my shirt, like feeling around my bra, whatever, and I could have sworn he unhooked my bra. Though it wasn't anything super traumatic, as a 13-year-old, you don't know how to process that. Like, you don't know what's happening. And I feel like that's where my distrust of men kind of started, because there were grown men in church, fully married, fully with kids, who would hit on me. And I almost would find it disrespectful, because the fact that you have a wife and you think that I would be okay with you coming at me knowing you have a wife. Don't ever disrespect me like that. You're disgusting. Even if for some twisted way I was attracted to you, my mind, my body could not even come to satisfy you because you are married. You are married. Hello? It's sick. It's sick. So anyways, I never spoke about it because I didn't know if it was me, like if it was like, because I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. In the church, a lot of people like to make it seem like if a girl is harassed by a man, she probably asked for it, or she was dressed in a certain way that provoked the man to fall, or stupidness like that. And that's why, like, when it comes to like modesty and all that stuff, I'm like, even if I come with my titties out, that does not give you like free reign over my body. It doesn't. It just doesn't. Although that is an extreme example, the point still stands, you know? So anyways, like at that young age, I didn't know how to feel about like, was I being overly sexual? Like, did I give him a signal of like, it's okay to touch me like that? And also like, what is that? I've never been touched by a man, let alone a boy. Like, I did not know what was happening. So yeah, just that was the time that I felt the most uncomfortable, just because like the other times that I've been hit on by churchmen was when I was older and when I knew like, oh, they take me for a fool. They think I'm stupid. All right. All right. I saw a story in here. Antonia, OMG, sorry to hear that, but this is so strange because I only told my husband last week that I was molested as a child, and your story of the guy from church is the same as me. He was a trusted guy from church. I'm telling you, it always be the ones that you trust the most. They get too comfortable with you. And I was a child. Anyways, whatever. Yes, grown men hitting on people a decade or more younger than them. I'm sorry. Even if I was not a decade or more younger than you, they are all married, Scribbler of Dreams. They are all married. Don't ever disrespect me and think that I will disrespect a marriage. That is the ultimate disrespect for me. The fact that you thought I would be okay with being a mistress. Me. A whole me. You're crazy. Antonia again says, just like you, I thought I was reading into his touchy feeling. Wrong. Not until he tried it with someone else and they spoke up and I got the courage to do the same. Honestly, he had done it to other people, but at the time I didn't know about that. And I heard about like stories about him like way after, and I was like, okay, so I could have been okay to say something, but I just took on so much guilt because I was like, he's my parents' friend, like he's my dad's friend. No, Joseph, I'm not Haitian, I'm Zimbabwean. I'm Zimbabwean, but I do get that a lot. Did I end up telling on him? No. Guys, when I tell you I internalized it, I carried it with me. I truly thought it was because of something I did. And that's just the impression that I got from the church. The church always puts the onus on the woman. If a girl get pregnant, what was she doing? Okay, because I created this human being on my own. You know? Like, a lot of like sexual immorality stuff or things like that is always put on the woman. So at that young age, 12, 13, I already thought in my mind, it must be because of me. It must be because of something I did. Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad. That's really sad. That's really, really sad. No, I never said anything. Even my friend whose father it was, she didn't know until like last year, because I told her last year. Like I could not talk about, I was so scared of getting him in trouble. And I've been sexually harassed at work twice at 2 different jobs because I was still in the mindset of it must be me. It must be all the sauce that I have. It must be the fact that I'm so voluptuous and they want all of it. I'm joking. I'm joking. Those are not the reasons. Those are not the reasons. Okay. Whew. I'm funny. Ashley Haynes says, Growing up in New York City and going to school, me and my friends would get catcalled by a grown-ass man and looked at, and it's like, you don't see this book bag in my hello? You don't see the fact that you will catch a case with me? You will go to jail. You will lose your job. You will be imprisoned. Okay? They don't care. They do not care. Men sexualize schoolgoing uniforms, so I'm not surprised. Very true. That fantasy is so weird to me. Like, are you R. Kelly? Gross. 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 But yeah, like, if there's one thing that I could do, it would be to be able to like help young girls who are just trying to figure it out in life. And ooh, that comment threw me for a loop. Yikes. Not even gonna read it. I would hope to be the person who can help young girls be like, hey, Elena, am I going crazy? No, girl, you're not going crazy. He's going crazy. Don't ever think that's on you. Don't ever think, you know, you deserved the mistreatment that you got and stuff like that. Y'all, I tell you, I was so mistreated by the men for thinking that I would accept their advances, although they were married, and by women who would just come for me. There was one woman, I was 16 years old. She had just had a baby, and I wasn't even as big as I am now, okay? But, like, she tried it. She was like, you know, I can give you my maternity clothing. I'm thinking to myself, you trying to get slapped. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get slapped by a child. Because what I will do is that I will hit you. Like, I was so shook. And then on another case, I've been called a bitch by a lady in church. And I'm thinking to myself, Madame, I'm a whole teenager. You have a whole husband and a whole child who's almost my age. How am I that threatening to you in your life? Like, please. There was another time where a guy who, after my first year of university, the man tried to invite me over for Christmas. Just me. Not me and his kids. Not me and his wife to kick it with the fam. No. Just me. And for some reason, the woman took it out on me. I'm like, oh, because I was coming for your son. I mean, for your husband. Because I was making advances towards your husband. Because I'm in your husband's Instagram DMs. That's me. I did all of that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, some of these comments I'm not gonna read. You kind of have to be in the comments to know what's going on. Yeah, Scribble of Dreams. Why are church people so hostile, child? Hell if I know. The greatest thing that God calls us to do is love, and yet it is the hardest things for a lot of Christians. It is the hardest thing for so many Christians, just to love. It's beyond me, man. It's beyond me. Yeah, y'all talk about R. Kelly, so I'm not gonna be in this comments. I'm sorry. Not a conversation I want to be a part of. Not at all. It's a crazy world out here. It is a crazy world out here. Grown men really made me think it was my fault that I was being sexually harassed. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Crazy. And grown women really would have perpetuated that. There were times where like girls would get pregnant in my church. And guess who you don't see come to church anymore? The girl. Who's still there? The man. Sense does that make? No. It does not. These eyes look different. I'm over this. I'm gonna take this off. I don't even care. Listen, she gonna do this on her own. I hate this makeup. It looks so trash. Especially on my standard. Y'all know me. Y'all seen my Instagram. This is not the standard. Maybe I can't talk and do makeup. Maybe that's the problem. I'll try again tomorrow. Antonia says, "Yup, them church people be salty. They define that thin line of they define that thin line of love and hate." Yeah. Yep. They do define it. Because oh, how thin it is. And honestly, I don't even think that it's a thin line between love and hate. I think it's hate disguised as, oh, but I'm looking out for you. Oh, I know that God wants better for you. He do. But he didn't ask you to do that. He didn't ask you to come condemn me. He asked you to spread his word and to be a witness and to love. And that is not what you're doing. That is not what you're doing. So, who's in the wrong here? It's crazy, man. Me getting makeup tips from you. From me? Not this look. Not this one. This one don't look good. I'm over it. I'll do a proper one another day. Or just look on my Instagram. Those ones are so much better than whatever the hell is going on today. Ashley Haynes says, Ashley, are you the one who lives in the UK? Because kudos to you for still being up. I always hated seeing women on these true crime 2020 stories pick a man over her daughter's sexual assault accusations when it's about her new husband or boyfriend. Fam, that is way too common, and it breaks my heart because I cannot fathom a world where the word of my child is inferior to the word of a man, especially one who's not their father. What? Blows my mind. You're in the UK too? Y'all some real ones. Thank you, Antonia. Y'all crazy. Should I keep going? Nah. All right, Zimbabwe, I'm gonna be sweet. You being messy in these comments here, Mr. Joseph. Like, I don't know if the rest of the viewers are really rocking with you right now. Whew, child. Okay, Scribbler of Dreams. Oh, actually, you're in New York, and you said growing up in New York. What's wrong with me? I'm tripping. Scribbler of Dreams. Haven't y'all seen Precious? Her mom hated her because he sexually assaulted Precious at 3 months, and the mom got jealous. Hello? And the thing is, like, that's not just a movie script. Like, it's a real story for a lot of people. A lot of people. And for me, like, I never had the fear that my mom wouldn't believe me. I just had the fear of, like, what the repercussions of something like that would be. And whether or not, like, I would turn into the talk of the town. Like, the 2 times that I was harassed at work, I just had to quit abruptly because I was like, I don't want to be whispered about now, or people say, well, what did she do? Or I can't believe she snitched on somebody, or all these things that we make women carry the weight when they shouldn't. Oh shoot. When they shouldn't, because it's not my responsibility to care for your feelings, especially when you're a predator. Like, why am I trying to protect you? And time again, I find myself protecting these black men. Well, 2 of them are black men. The one guy who sexually harassed me at McDonald's, imagine, McDonald's of all workplaces, he was Filipino. Oof, child. I look like I have been through it. All right, y'all, we're gonna tackle one more topic. Yes, McDonald's, Scribbler of Dreams. Like, how desperate can you be? You're not getting no love at home. You gotta sexually harass your what did he do? He hit me. He hit my ass with a tray, and he would always like lean up against me when I was working the drive-thru. and talk to me like this, and I'm like, I feel very dominated right now. Like I don't know what to do. So yeah. So I just ended up quitting. I was like, I can't put up with this. I can't even go through the process of like reporting somebody. Like I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. Like the fact that I even have to do that is beyond me. Like, you really don't think this is inappropriate behavior? Are you not a grown man? What's wrong with you? And I should stop expecting morality from people. Because not everybody is raised like me. And even if they were raised like me, not everyone is sensible. Not everyone has, you know, social perception. Or even cares to uphold the values that they were raised with. So, yeah. I should stop expecting more from people. So yeah, one last topic, guys, before I go. What skin? Y'all, stop. I'm having the worst skin. On top of that, my aunt came to visit me. You know what aunt I'm talking about. So my skin is just hella tripping. Hella tripping. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all, hit me with one more topic before I go. Unless y'all good with capping it here. That ain't no problem either. Ooh, this hurts. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Like the rules in high school about girl skirts, pants, and shirts, and saying they don't want male teachers distracted. Some girls can't help the curves. Hello. And body type they have. I need to learn how to do my own makeup. I need to learn how to do makeup. Honestly, it's y'all see, it's a hit or miss. Like it ain't always popping. The ones you see on Instagram are only the successes. Okay. Scribble over dreams, OMG, yes. When they didn't want you to show your shoulders because it's distracting. Like, come on. No, for real. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if you are in a place where you work with children, why do you want somebody who is so easily distracted and can so easily sexualize a young girl to be working in that environment? You know what I mean? That doesn't make you feel uncomfortable? Like your greatest concern is the girl whose shoulders are showing, not the fact that a grown-ass man is basically a pedophile. You're paying a pedophile. Okay. All right. Sure. That's why Mr. Man over there, saying he still listens to R. Kelly? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a no for me, dog. Girl, back home, they wanted us to wear our skirts 4 inches below our knees. The struggles. The struggles I had being sent home weekly for my skirts that were barely touching my knees. I believe it. I went to a school where we had uniforms too, but I always wore pants because I didn't like skirts. I didn't like looking feminine. A lot of that had to do with my history with men and how I already felt sexualized at such a young age. I was like, you know what? Let me look like a boy, because maybe then they'll leave me alone. So yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, I do. All right, it seems like that's all. It seems like that's all y'all want to talk about today. So I'm going to cap it there. This has been great. It is always great with you guys. There's been a lot of people on today's one. That's interesting. And Tony is a new one for me. I don't think I've seen you comment before. So welcome to the comment gang. Yeah. What do you think about Billie Eilish? Billie Eilish and her dressing manly but still being sexualized. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It really doesn't stop anybody, but it stops a lot of people. It stops a lot of people who are at least insecure with their sexuality. Because I know a lot of men are like, it's got a vagina, it don't matter what it's packaged like. But a lot of other people are like, nah, she look like a dude, I'm not doing that. And that's really who I was trying to protect myself from. Yeah, it's a crazy world you live in. Like, back to the conversation we were having before, like, and as much as like black women were belittled so much by so many other people, like, we get sexualized at the same time to such a on such a vigorous level that you would wonder, like, how do these two exist? Like, how are you so enamored by a black woman and you want to take her so much to the fact that, like, you don't care about taking advantage of her, but on the same hand, you belittle us and you demean us and you make us feel less than. It doesn't make sense to me. I know, yeah, you guys are always sleeping over there in the UK. There's someone else who's always like complaining that I do them too late at night. So I tried to do it earlier today because a lot of you guys are overseas, I've realized. So hopefully this time works better for y'all. It works for me. So yeah, if y'all are up and able to catch it, that's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. This is me like all the time. It's me all the time. Straight shenanigans, y'all. Straight shenanigans. Okay. Good night. I bid you good night. I love you. I pray for the best. I pray you sleep well. I hope all your dreams come true. That's it. Bye.